Hi, it's Amanda the Nail Polish Hound and welcome to this in and out video, and in this one we're going to be looking at the things that have been coming in and out of my nail polish collection during the month of March 2021. But before we start on that, let's have a quick look at my polish goals. I wanted to sort and destash my stamping plates. I'm on a low buy for nail art and a low buy for nail polish, and for those two combined I set myself a budget for the year of £100. There are a few more rules around that which I will mention as we go along, but if you'd like to see it in more detail, I do have a video which outlined all of my goals for the year. And then finally, my goal is to try and destash in total 100 nail polishes over the course of the year. But before we start on that, let's just quickly talk about what's on my nails. I have got Essie's Zip Me Up, topped with I&M's Northern Lights in silver, their holographic top coat. So let's start with my low buy for nail art, and over the month of February I purchased 3 stamping plates, and these are the 3 that I picked up. First of all, picked you 001, and this is some lovely images of ferns and leaves, and I'm really liking using this type of image at the moment. Slightly annoying shape though, it's not going to fit into any of my containers. Then I picked up Nicole Diaries 091, and I used to have Lena's Twirls and Swirls, but the images on that were far too big for my tiny nails. So I bought this one, and the images on this one are smaller, so I am going to be able to use this. I have in fact used it once already. The last one that I picked up was in a destash, and it is this Moyu London plate, Noel Collection 06, and I picked this up primarily because of the wolf footprint. I do have a husky and I didn't have anything quite like that in my stamping collection, but I do like the other images on this plate as well. So I think most of you know my rules by now, but for every stamping plate that I purchase I need to destash 2. So with 3 bought I need to get rid of at least 6. So these are the ones that I've sorted out from my collection that will be going this time, and I managed to find 7 in total to destash. First one I'm letting go is this Preen stamping plate number 15. I did purchase this for a mani swap that I have already done. I also was given this Beauty Big Bang stamping plate by somebody, and I'm really sorry I can't remember who it was, but I don't think it's one that I'm going to use, so I'm going to pass that one on to a friend. Then there's this Born Pretty stamping plate which I bought for the cupcakes on it for a particular mani that I was doing for a challenge, but I don't think I'll use any of the rest of those images, so that one can go. Then we have Born Pretty 131, and again I bought this one for a challenge which I've done and I don't think I'll use again. Born Pretty 106, I went through a phase of doing lace nail stamping, and this one has got thicker lines on the images which I don't really like, so I'm going to put this one into my destash sales. And another one of the lace stamping plates, I bought this one for the mani swap circle, Born Pretty Large 030, but again it's got those thicker lines on it, and all of the images on this are quite large and don't really fit on my nails very well, so I'm going to be putting this one in my destash sales as well. And last but not least we have Born Pretty X52, and I've just got a lot of nail stamping plates with butterfly images on and ones that I prefer to these. So that was all the stamping plates that I purchased and destashed. Moving on to the nail polishes that I purchased. These are the 5 that were added to my collection in the month of March. And the first one's not actually really a purchase, so just to explain. I'm sure you know by now, if you've seen any of my recent videos, that I've fallen in love with Indian Ocean by Model's Own. And this one was one that I actually destashed last year when I thought I wasn't going to like this polish. And it's been sat in my destash box. I did put it up for sale once, but it didn't get bought, and it was still sitting there. And seeing as I love it so much now, I've decided to take it back out of my destash. That is the first time I have ever done that with a polish. So although I haven't purchased it as such, I'm going to treat it as a purchase for the point of having to destash to others to compensate for it, if that makes sense. So moving on to the polishes that I did actually purchase, and I had a little bit of a destash purchase when I saw these Princess Nail Lacquer polishes. This one, Ballerina Sparkles, is one that I had wanted to get when it came out, but I missed out on. It's a very pretty rose gold with a holographic glitter in it. Then from that same destash we have Princess Nail Lacquer's Rose, and this again was one that I really wanted when it first came out and missed, and it's just a very pretty pink foily polish, again with some fine holographic glitter within it. And the last one from that destash was Ardent Nails Maddie, and this is a very pretty thermal polish that has just gone into my nail polish rack for spring, and it is a lovely lilac that goes through to a pink. It looks a little bit more lavender under my camera, but it is a bit more pink in real life. And it has this beautiful little shimmer in it that you can see when you look at the nails up close. Ever so pretty, and I'm really looking forward to wearing this one. And my last purchase was Baroness X Appaloosa. I think that's how you say this one, and it is one of their fluid nail art polishes. I love the way that they put a little drop on the top of the bottle so that you can see that, and it's clearly marked on the bottom as well. I've not done any fluid nail art for a while. I did try the hack to make your own fluid nail art, but it's not particularly successful, and my old Sinful Colours polishes are not working anymore. And all the fluid nail art manis that I've seen that have been most successful have used polishes by Baroness X, so I thought I'd pick one up and give it a go again. This one's quite unusual because it does have those little sparkles in it as well. It's not just a straightforward cream polish. So with 5 polishes purchased, well, sort of purchased, one of them coming out of my destash, I have got to destash at least 10. The first one that's going to be going is My Little Peony by Sienna Rose. This one was gifted to me, so I will be passing it along. And it's a lovely polish, it just doesn't really suit me very well. It's a tiny bit too peach toned, so I will be giving this one to a friend. Then we have my impulse destash buy from a couple of months ago. This is KB Shimmer's Let's Get Started. I just thought those blue and black glitters looked so pretty in the bottle, but it's not really my kind of thing. I did try it on one nail and I'm not keen on it, so this one will be going into my destash pile and resold. Then we've got this Insta Dry by Sally Hansen, and this was gifted to me by Claire. It's called Quicksand. It's a very pretty polish, but again, not really the right colour for my skin tone, so I'll pass this one on to a friend as well. Then we have Cinderella by Sinful Colours. I have one bottle of this that I've already destashed. I was keeping this one in case I used it, but it is quite sheer, needs building up, and it never looks quite as pretty as it does in the bottle. And I've now found that I can recreate this look using some of my other toppers, so this one will also now be going into my destash. Next we have a polish that was given to me for Christmas by Nika. It is Glitter All The Way by API. This is a gold topper, and the gold on this one is just a little bit too yellow for me and doesn't suit me as well as some of my other gold toppers do, so I will be passing this on to somebody else. Next we have this stamping polish by Mo Yu, and again, colour's just not quite right for my skin tone. A little bit too much peach in this pink for me, so I'll be passing this one on too. Then we have this Lottie London polish. It's one that I've never worn. It's very pretty, a sort of browny green base to it with gold glitters in it. Just Really not my kind of shade, and I think if I was going for something like this, I would probably just go for a glittery black instead. Next we've got this Proto Polish by Sparkly Nail Polish, and this one is very pretty, but I have at least 3 other oranges that I can think of with gold in them, and it's not a colour that I wear very often in the first place, so I'm going to let this one go. Then we have this Kiko polish, it's number 383, I don't know the name for it, and this was one that I bought with a load of other Kiko polishes for one polish in particular. This one, I did try it on one nail, and it's just a little bit too blue for a teal for me, and a bit too teal for a blue, if that makes sense. Just not my kind of colour. So that one's going. An unknown little mini teal that I have from OPI, and I have something that's almost exactly the same by Sally Hansen that is a slightly better formula, so I'm keeping the Sally Hansen and getting rid of this mini by OPI. And then we have another OPI, this is Ski Teal We Drop. You can see it has separated in the bottle, but I will give it a good shake up and it will be fine. Still works fine on the nail, the formula is alright. Again, just not my kind of colour. So I'm going to let this one go as well. Then we have this thermal polish by Ada's Nails, and it's called Green Flash. It's a very pale green with holographic glitters in it. Unfortunately, I tried this polish. The thermal's not working anymore, but something's gone off on the formula as well and didn't work at all well, didn't dry very well, and was very uneven. So this one, I'm afraid, will be going in the bin. Last but not least, I expect some of you will recognise the box for this one. This is one of the nail polishes that was a collaboration between Fun Lacquer and Simply Nailogical, and it is Hollow Queen. I've been debating destashing this one on and off for a little bit. I just don't wear it. I've worn it in the past. You will see there is a fill line in the bottle, but I don't think I'm going to wear this again. I'm really not into full coverage glitters that need building up like this one. And I'm fairly certain that there will be someone out there who would really like this for their collection instead of it staying in a box unused in mine. So I'm going to be putting this one up for sale along with my other destash polishes. So there you have it, the 13 nail polishes that are going to be leaving my collection. So let's have a look at my totals. For March, I purchased 3 stamping plates and destashed 7. I purchased 5 nail polishes, including the one that I took out of my destash pile. I destashed or finished 13, and I didn't have any that I was gifted. So that's a total of 5 nail polishes into my collection and 13 nail polishes out. Looking at the running totals for the year so far, I've purchased 7 stamping plates and destashed 24, purchased 19 nail polishes, destashed or finished 43, and I've been gifted or repurchased another 13, which means there's a grand total of 32 nail polishes coming into my collection and 43 leaving. For the stamping plates, I have purchased 7 in total and I have destashed 24. And if you remember, at the end of last month I was down to £17.86 of my original budget. This month I have spent £29.48 and not done anything with my destash sales. So that means, yep, I'm in the red again. We're into the minus £11.62. So I really must get going on listing my polishes and stamping plates for destash. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, you know what to do. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.